welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bringing you 3 unique perspectives of varying skill range. I took back over the intro because you guys did a horrible job last week. I am the CEO of this firm. Andrew, with me are... what do you want to go with?
Comptroller?
You're
so great at doing the intro.
So good.
I'm sorry, Keith picked a weird intro for himself. I don't know. And of course with us, our intern, Liz.
Hey guys.
And this week, Keith picked for us, and we played Going Under by Aggro Crab Studios. Going Under is a satirical dungeon crawler roguelike where you are playing a intern who started at this very Amazon-esque corporation, and you are essentially going down into these dungeons underneath the company to fight various dungeons and try to collect these important artifacts you need to get. So going around, Keith, since this was your game, is this a game or pass for you?
It's definitely a game. It's not too difficult. It's easy to pick up. It's not the best game out there, but we'll get into it. I think what's interesting is it blows out one of my whole things about roguelites, that they don't really need a story, and it actually has a kind of interesting little tale. So I think it's a game.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, as a hardcore gamer at first, I was actually to give this a pass because I actually found this too easy, and I was kind of bored with it because I'm like, this isn't much of a challenge. I was beating the dungeons after 1 or 2 runs, and I was just like, okay. But exactly halfway through the game, it actually kind of does a new game plus, and actually gets a lot more difficult. And that's when I was actually starting to enjoy it because it was giving me more of a challenge. But I agree. I actually really enjoyed the story by the end. It's nothing too unique, but it was pretty good.
All right, so I feel like your opinion went up and down with that. So it's a game for you?
Oh, sorry. It is a game. Thank you, Liz.
When I first saw the trailer, I thought, this game looks stupid. And then I started playing it. I was like, this is a lot of fun. I think I kind of got burnt out a little bit quicker than definitely Andrew because it took me a while to beat the first boss. So because there are so few dungeons, I kind of got sick of them, to be honest. But I'm still going to give it a game because I thought it was a hoot.
A hoot nanny.
I was gonna say I thought it was a lot of fun, but I was like, I already said fun. And hoot just came to mind.
So you went with hoot. All right, we'll go with that. So starting off with the story, as Keith kind of said a little bit, the story is pretty interesting. It's just slightly satirical. So it's pretty funny, but nothing like knee slapping. You're not gonna be cracking up laughing, but yeah, you play this fresh college graduate who's going in and you get this job as a marketing executive, a marketing internship. But when you get to the company, which is Fizzle, which is a beverage place, but they're part of an Amazon-esque company, you find out that you are basically just a regular intern and you're not actually there to do the job. You're there to slay monsters. And so they just keep sending you in the dungeon to find these artifacts and basically risk your life.
Unpaid intern.
Oh, sorry. Unpaid.
Because that's kind of important.
I feel like that's implied. Most internships aren't paid.
No, that's not true at all.
They're changing that now. They're changing it.
That's true, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of them are paid, I think.
But yes. So, what did you guys actually think of the story? Because I will say at first, I did not care. I didn't think this game was that funny, and I wasn't too great into the humor, into that humor. I thought some of the characters were kind of likable, but near the end, I was really digging the story. I thought it turned into some really cool corners, and I liked it.
So I kind of already played my hand on this because I said it as part of my intro, is that I actually thought the story was pretty good. As you said, overall, the comedy that it was going for, I mean, you're playing a person right out of college, so you're obviously in your early 20s, I guess. But I don't know. I think some of the humor I'm too old for. Which it sounds stupid, but it was like I don't know, and at the same time, some of the jokes just got a little bit overplayed as far as I get it, you're an unpaid intern, okay, you're going to do this grimy task, it got a little bit worn. But where the game goes, it again, I don't know if we want to talk much about it because it's a newish game and this is a spoiler, but it takes a really fun turn, and I liked where it went, and overall how it even ended up describing how the dungeons became what they were from being originally an operating business. I thought it was actually kind of a neat way to explain it.
Yeah, I actually liked basically when they explained the name of Going Under. I just assumed it meant you're going under the company and slaying monsters. But there actually is a more significant reason as to why it's called Going Under. And I thought it was kind of cool.
I was actually going to say the same thing as Keith about how I felt like they kept doing the same jokes over and over again. And so for me, I didn't really find them funny. I kind of wish that they went more into the characters a bit. Because they kind of had a little bit of personality, but I wanted more. So I feel like the story itself, I was just kind of like, eh. But yeah, I just wish they did more with them.
I think it was Ray, the CEO, is really the only one that they really give a ton of personality, I guess, or like give you any reason to feel for him. Everyone else is just very flat.
Well, I felt like that the shop guy was kind of like I just pictured him as kind of like a stoner.
Yeah.
And then there was the girl that was always like just mad.
Well, she was like always mad because she was always kind of brushed under the carpet and just
exactly,
kind of ignored.
Also,
So
she's a programmer or a developer.
Yeah.
They're very quiet, angry people usually.
Oh, is that really?
In the nicest way. Like it's just how they
Maybe
are.
a stereotype in their Keith.
I work with a lot of them, Andrew, and they all are very similar in that aspect. They're not mean. They're just short and to the point. They speak with purpose. That's all.
It's the quiet ones you have to worry
like she couldn't be that bad of a person. Yeah.
And you can pet the dog. Very important.
I also like that they gave the dog a butthole.
I did not notice that, but I don't look for that.
They made sure they gave it a nice little X, right?
Andrew's always looking for dog butthole.
Yep, I'm going to start a Twitter account. Does the dog have a butthole? And I'm just going to go through games and confirm.
I think you're going to get a much different crowd than you want to get having a Twitter account.
That's a good point. I probably shouldn't do that then. I've already got in trouble with EA Play with one of our clan names, so I probably won't want to do a Twitter account. But yeah, so I thought the story was good, but actually what I thought was kind of interesting was the gameplay. So what's interesting about this gameplay and why this isn't just like every other roguelike is this game I found to be very accessible. I actually found this to be, like I said at the beginning, pretty easy. And the thing with this game is you're not picking up weapons. You're picking up kind of things around the office. Well, kind of. I mean, you're picking up sledgehammers and pickaxes and keyboards. So like some things clearly aren't in an office. But the whole purpose of this game is you to just kind of grab something that you find within the room, beat somebody with it until it breaks, and then find something else to beat somebody up with. So the combat I thought was interesting.
Well, I also like that they have the mentor tasks. So like sometimes combat switched with that.
Yeah, that's where the rogue element really kind of comes in.
Yeah, so like you had to kill somebody with like the brick phones, but they suck. So for me, I thought they switched up a little bit that way, but overall the weapons, I mean, like if you're playing these dungeons over and over and over again, they're the same. I feel like it gets very boring after a while.
They kind of are, but in certain ways they, at least within their own biome of each dungeon or business that you go to, they're all mostly unique for like the actual weapons you can pick up. Like when you're in the first one, the Joblin one, it's all just, it's like spears, it's swords, it's nothing like crazy. And then it goes into more, when you go to the dating site, there's actually more elemental weapons and there's a lot more range. And then the last one, it's like big heavy duty one because it's crypto mining, or it's a crypto company, so they're mining and they have mining tools. So I thought that was kind of cool in that way.
Yeah, I loved the kind of the themes with everything because, of course, everything's very kind of puns. So, yeah, the first place you're going to is Joblin. And so you're fighting goblins, but they are workers, so they're called Joblins. But they have, like, clever names. Like, a guy always has a spear. He's a freelancer. And I always just loved the kind of fun puns they did with this game. Yeah, when you go, as Keith said, to the Styx coin, which is a cryptocurrency, you have, miners, and they're literally miners. And you have like people that are actually hacking in a computer rig, and it's actually, I love the puns in the game.
But I also came back to weapons. I thought it was frustrating too, though. Whenever you opened a box that wasn't like the main box at the end, the weapon would always only have one hit. It'd be flashing red already, and those were usually the weapons that were the best, especially like early on. So for me, like I feel like that was kind of dumb.
Well, that was
happened to me every single time.
Did you use Swamp?
What, Swamp?
the cafeteria guy, was he your mentor?
The burnt out guy you were talking about.
Yeah, is that why?
Mm-hmm. That's one of his perks is that you find they're like swamp cubes, and they're filled with good loot, but yeah, it's always damaged.
See, I played so many hours of this game, and there's so much I don't know. Andrew was telling me about how to make the brick phones, where you like leave the room when there's an app, and then you go back and it's there. I mean, I'm assuming
Keith actually taught
that
me that.
I'm assuming that it was in his character thing, and I just didn't read it.
No, I found that on a YouTube video because it was so this was something I YouTubed this week because it was bothering me because I was like, I know it's as simple as just pick up a brick phone, kill enemy, and I would see the brick phones and I couldn't figure it out, and so I was like, there's got to be a way to make brick phones, like it just has to be a way. So I discovered, hot tip of the week that I can't take credit for knowing myself, is if there is an app in the room and you leave the room and come back, the app will be a bricked phone. So that's how you can generate them more quickly to get through that mission.
Yeah, fun fact. Yeah, I enjoyed kind of the mentor side quest that you had. So there's 5 mentors, which are your various employees, and every time you go up to them, they give you something kind of pretty easy to do. Hey, toast a sandwich, go down, fight this mini boss, have a couple of companions. Like, it's just these random kind of things to do. And there's an easy way to kind of farm them. And every time you're doing these missions, the mentor themselves are actually leveling up, and they'll actually give you more perks to go back down in the dungeon. So I enjoyed this aspect of it, where I'm still trying to do the main story of completing the dungeon, but I'm also trying to achieve these side quests to make it easier for me in the future to kind of go back to these dungeons. And I actually thought that was a really nice gameplay element.
I mean, I think it's a good element, but if someone like me that it took a little while to kill like the first boss, it's weird. So the first boss, it took me a while to kill. It was either second or third. I think I did the first try. So I felt like with the first one, I just didn't want to go back, and a lot of the mentor tasks were for the first dungeon, and I was like, I'm done with. That's boring. I don't want to keep going back to that. So I wish that it was more like you spent a certain amount of time in each one. I felt like it didn't really flow.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Well, I don't get why, but I had the exact same experience. Is I kept getting that first one, or I couldn't get past the first one, and then I didn't really try on the other ones because I was like, I want to finish this one. I want to beat the first boss, and I couldn't do it. I knocked out a bunch of side missions, and I think that's sort of what ultimately helped me overcome it, because I just had more skills and everything like that. But once I beat that, it was, I think within 5 tries I beat Winky Dink, the dating app, and then I beat Styx on my very first try. So it was just like, it was weird how it happened.
I beat Styx on my first try. I beat Joblin on my second try, and I beat Winky Dink, I think, on my third try. I thought Winky Dink was, the most difficult one because of, like, the fire elements, and, they did it, like, a lot more elemental attacks, and the enemies were just more annoying. But overall, like, that's what I was kind of saying. Like, I found the gameplay to be very easy, but I love that halfway through the game, it essentially forces you to kind of do a new game plus, and you're rerunning these dungeons, which of course are procedurally generated. So, they're always slightly different, but nothing like crazy. And on the harder difficulty, you're actually meeting new enemies. The levels are slightly changing. So, like, the cryptocurrency one, Styx coin, is now like a good amount of levels are flooded, and so you have like slower movement speed. Or like the Joblin ones, like there's like more fire and there's booby traps. So I thought it was really cool that they kind of forced you into a new game plus, and it was just enough difficult, but not frustrating difficult. Not like something like Dead Cells where, when you progress in that game and it got harder, it got very hard. I just liked it gave me just enough challenge.
But I also feel like it wasn't raw. I mean, it obviously is random, but it didn't feel random to me. There was one ability that I got, and I only got it once. And I played this game so many times. I kept getting the same, not artifacts. So
skills?
But from the stores. I kept getting the same ones over and over and over again, and I thought that was really frustrating. So for me, I'm like, is there like an issue with my game? Because I was because you can look at all like the skills that you acquire and stuff. And I was just getting the same ones every time. I mean, they were good, but, I got a mission to kill with my bare hands. So I was like, I wanted that strength one again. And I do think
there was a tendency towards certain ones, because I can think about it. Like I think it was like 70 or so of them unlocked at this point. And for the most part, I do feel like I got within some range, like maybe only 20 to 30 of them frequently. Because you're right, like there's the one like the Queen's Gambler or something where you gain 2 strength but you get less gold. So I don't think I ever really saw that one out in the wild much. Or there might also be, I want to say like maybe a little bit, and like thinking about this myself, that like, because you always picked the same ones, because you're like, I like these ones.
You say this every time I say that about a roguelike, where I'm like, I keep getting the same ones, and I really want to like explore the other ones. You're always like, I think it's in your head.
Well, because
and maybe it is. I just think it's funny that you tell me this every time, and every time I still bring it up.
Well, and the reason being is because I do the same thing. Is I just see the one that I like real quick, and I won't even take a second to like look at what the other option is. So when I say I never see those ones, it's probably because I just didn't even look at them in the first place. Like I'm putting that on me and just saying possibly that's why you see that.
Well, I always look at both because there's some, like, once you get it to 100%, you can choose that when you go in for a run, because you can always choose one and one mentor. And so I always try to use the one that isn't at 100%, even if I don't really like it. So I know I've been looking at every single one every time.
Okay.
So that's why I just like got frustrated.
That's fair. I occasionally I know I would, but yeah, for the most part, I almost got into like a Slay the Spire mode with this game, where I was just like, I knew all the skills, I knew the ones I was looking for to accomplish what I needed, and I would just be like, yep, got it, get that one, yep, other one, good. And so unless I like really couldn't decide or didn't see one that I immediately wanted, that's when I would look.
I should have done that because I probably would have progressed faster. Like I never use the guns, so like the one that comes up where it helps with like firing and stuff. It's like I probably shouldn't have picked that one.
So here's my question: who was your favorite mentor?
I just did the guy that gave me a free thing at the store.
Swamp.
I think I
don't
did.
think you ever did anyone else, did you?
I did. I think maybe 2 other people. Oh no, I definitely did the boss. And then I realized that he gave me debt, and that was really annoying because I used him to get the espresso machine.
Yeah.
That task, and then I used at least 1 or 2 other people. But I always just wanted the free items,
My favorite was the money lady, Toppy.
What'd she do?
I think Tappy.
I think it's Tabby. Yeah, you earn extra money from killing monsters and stuff. So you get like cents. And so like
I definitely used her. I did use her as well.
I liked her a lot because I actually found out I would have more money than anything, and I could buy majority of the stuff in these shops anytime I went to them.
Yeah, and then by the end of it, once you get her leveled up, the stores replenish, and you get extra shops that you don't get instant purchases on, but it's kind of interesting because it does it like an Amazon delivery. So you order it, and then it says it'll deliver within 3 to 5 business. Which
was annoying.
Oh yeah,
I wanted
business
instant.
battles. I did too, but I thought it was kind of funny because again, once you level her all the way up, you get what's the name of the company?
Cubicle.
Yeah, you get like Cubicle Primo or whatever, and then it delivers in two business battles, and it's
Which
a guarantee.
every time I saw Cubicle's icon, to me it looked like 9gag. It literally was like the same design, just reversed.
I'm gonna have to look at that. I don't know because I don't go on 9gag much.
But I will say I do like the diversity of like each mentor. Like I feel like it changes the gameplay enough. Like even like the apps lady, she was probably my least favorite because I thought the apps were just okay. Apps are essentially like active abilities you can use. They're very limited use. They range from you create a decoy, or you summon allies, or you order an extra supply of something. I thought the apps were just okay, so she was like my least favorite. But I at least liked and I enjoyed how each one of them really kind of shook up the gameplay.
No, and that's the thing is you don't necessarily realize it until at the end of the game there's actually like 2 and it goes into New Game Plus, and then once you get into that section, you can open up what's called Imposter Mode, which is like these like 9-room runs that you have to do consecutively, start to finish, and then each time you beat it, it gets progressively harder and adds additional tasks into it. And that one, you don't start with a mentor. You have to like buy it, and it's not necessarily a full level mentor like you've been playing with, and you realize how much of a difference it makes when you level them up and when you just have them in general. I know definitely I was with you, Liz, for the most part. I used Swamp. I thought he was the best. By the end, he gets the he starts every floor with additional allies. So like if you have him on that imposter mode run, it's going to be nice, but you don't get to pick that unless you're lucky enough to roll them in a store.
Did you guys like the entrepreneur? I think that's what he was called. He was the one that if you took an item that kind of cursed you, you would get 3 good items.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot that's actually what his name was. That's actually clever.
What was it again?
Entrepreneur.
Oh yeah. No, I did it just about every time
because there's an achievement for it too.
Yeah, but there was never really a point where any of the curses got me so bad that I was like, I don't know, this is too hard. The only one that's bad is the first person mode one, which is really neat, but it has a tendency to glitch out your game when it goes out of first person mode. So
that was my bug of the week. Getting out of when you got that curse into first person, and then when you exited first person, my screen, it was like the camera was spinning. So if anyone up there is sensitive to lights, maybe have some like epilepsy, you might want to be careful with this game. Hopefully they fix that bug because it's pretty brutal.
I got a bug where it would have me die before I actually died, and it would just kind of like freeze me in the death position, and then I would get up and I would still have health, and I could still beat the level.
That's the perk you had.
no.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I told
don't
you
know
that.
anything about this
I can't- you
game.
really
I thought it was a glitch. I was like, why is it doing... Wait, what was the perk?
The perk's called failing forward, and when you die, you revive with like 1 or 2 hearts.
One. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
I'm
know
learning
so many questions
much
about
right
Liz's
now.
prior bugs.
See, this is why we question
Well,
so many
same,
things.
no,
Like you
no,
said.
that's understandable. But also with the entrepreneur, there was one where enemies get the last laugh, and I hated it because I would just like get foobarred, and I was like, Andrew, I don't understand what's happening. And he's like, well, get away from the enemies, they're blowing up. And I was like, oh, that's what's happening right now. So it was like I hated it so much, and then I realized, oh, just roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just get away from where the pain's coming from is kind of the
I
name
feel
of the
like I
game.
played this game so wrong.
It's not entirely impossible. I wouldn't
I
say
also
that.
like I feel like the apps really helped me too, because like when I didn't really like when I was doing bad, I would just put on the tube view and distract the monsters and stuff. So I felt like that kind of was the reverse of it, where I found those very helpful. But yeah,
So I'm surprised. So as I said before, this game's very accessible, and when you actually like start your game, even if you've already created a game, there's an option to actually turn assist mode on, and assist mode is really cool. It actually lets you alter the game any way you want, where you can have extra hearts, you can have your weapons be more durable, you can have the enemies be weaker. It actually gives you these like different abilities for you to do, and I love that this game has this because this game, roguelikes generally are very difficult. They're generally meant for just very hardcore people, and really you gotta have like really twitch-like reflexes. But this game is very accessible, and I love that. But Liz, I'm surprised you never turned it on. I told you about it, and you're like, no, I want to play this game real.
well, because I mean, like I said, there was at least one of the dungeons that I beat the first try. Like I didn't find it too hard. I think it was really just about like finding a strategy, like getting the mentor that worked for you and stuff like that. But I mean, the little things that I'm saying like messed me up a little bit. Like, okay, in all fairness, the death thing, that ability that I had, I shouldn't be laying on the floor for what felt like an eternity. Like it shouldn't stop combat that much. So I felt like those little things, like they would affect the run, but overall, I mean, I understood most of the game. Like most of my runs were good.
I understood most of the game.
Well, this is a game, and I think this comes with the roguelike a little bit, is that you kind of need to use the wiki on it. I mean, like, and it's weird because you don't. Like, you can absolutely fail forward, as Liz has proven. But at the same time, there's a lot of the perks that don't really give you much description.
Oh, yeah.
There's
like,
one,
you're a baby, and it's like, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, it like, is this, I don't feel like it's entirely cosmetic because all of the skills do something. So I'm like, I don't know. Do I run faster? Do I... have higher critical, is that damage, what does it do? And I'm sure I actually never did look it up. I'm sure I could, but without looking it up, you don't really know what it does, or have to pay like critical attention to the difference it makes and sit there with a spreadsheet or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably one of my biggest complaints is I wish this game did have a little bit more descriptions. As for me, it didn't affect the gameplay that much. When it came to a skill, I just grabbed it, whatever. Like, because I didn't find the game too difficult, so I was like, whatever. I'm not sure what this is doing, but I'll just grab it. So I don't know. I do wish though, like some things were a bit more explained.
I also, with the what was it, the App Store that gave you that card so you could ID the employee or whatever it is, you get them.
The Rolodex. Yeah.
All the droplins and everything. I feel like the enemies should have been more diverse, so I could remember who I've hit before. So like one of the guys in like the monster trucks or whatever, like, I mean, they all look the same. So for me, it's like I actually like that because it did hit hard as well. But I just felt like, especially in the first one, the Joblin, I don't think they were diverse enough at all. I felt like I was just hitting Joblins with it over and over again.
A little bit.
No, I thought they were overall. I mean, you kind of had a small, medium, and large one. There's like the little one that ran around. Those look, they had a giant head, tiny body. Then there was
freelancers.
Then you have the medium-sized ones that just run up and attack you, and then you have the ones with a backpack, and then they throw stuff at you, but they got a baseball hat on.
But they have different abilities, but they all look the same.
No, it was like a small, medium, and a large one. And then you had the really big one.
Yeah, but you could have the Joblins look a little more different.
I don't know.
I mean, for instance, the other levels, like you have like the annoying match woman who just sends hearts at you and hits you with that. Those were way more diverse. The Joblin dungeon, I just felt.
I mean, yeah, if you're comparing, I guess I can see where you're coming from. Because
between the two
was
for
quite
sure.
different. Yeah. But I never had an issue where I'm like, wait, is this the guy who throws things, or is this the guy who hits me with a club?
No, I just meant specifically for the app thing, where it's like I'm trying to collect all the characters. I'm like, how do I remember which Joblin? They all look the same.
But I will say on top of that, though, is it's fine to me at least, and the reason I'm not bothered too much by it is in the small environment that this game is, it's 3 unique biomes that I think they do a very good job making unique of each other.
Well, kind of 5, but there's 3 main ones, yes.
Well, yeah, I guess more likely, yeah. But really, like, you have those 3 areas, and they're diverse enough that they don't really step on each other's toes, and they're all short enough that you don't need if there was too many characters, it'd be too much. And then when you open up the first New Game Plus, the New Game Plus of it, you get more enemies. And then you have like the one that has the t-shirt cannon, and he has got the giant mascot head on and like other stuff. So
the car guy now has a carpool, and he has a buddy with him that drives around with him.
But I mean, like with Dead Cells, it was fun seeing the new weapons that you were going to get with a specific run. So I think that's what was really missing for me, was that I knew exactly what weapons were going to be in the room waiting for me. I mean, some rooms might have pencils and laptops and like one like bone thing. But I mean, like I knew what the weapons were going to be. And so that's why I was really disappointed in the combat in this game. I liked the combat. I liked some of the weapons, but it's just boring having the same ones for every run, especially when you have to go back to the same runs. I wanted something different with the runs.
That's probably my biggest complaint. I thought the weapons got really boring.
Yeah, like give me variety and also just make me excited to find out what's going to be behind the next door. And I wasn't excited. I knew what enemies were going to be there, the weapons, everything was laid out every time.
In the New Game Plus, you got some couple unique, really cool weapons, but they were very far in between. Like one was a sledgehammer, but the like actual mallet part was 2 coffee cups or 2 coffee pots, and it had an added effect where when you hit enemies, it slowed them down. Or I had like a scythe that was like called like I can't remember. It was a clever name. It was another
Reaper's something.
Yeah.
I actually opened up the wiki. I could probably look at.
But that one was cool because it actually had like lifesteal. And then I had a baseball bat that would always home run enemies. And it was like these really cool weapons, but they were kind of rare. And so like those were like fun to get, but you didn't get them enough. You're just getting the same items like Liz says, of the same pickaxe, the same bone club.
And especially because there are so few dungeons, that's why I felt like they should have added that feature. Like if the dungeons there aren't gonna be enough dungeons for, variety, then have the weapons be the variety.
I can't argue against that. I like Andrew said, I think the like really unique weapons were really cool when you got them. But yeah, overall the weapon set is pretty low. But I think the game is built really more on the perks and the mentorships in terms of how it's going to shake up your runs. So I didn't overly hate it outside of it just got boring when you kind of like I was playing this game in big chunks and I would sit down and play it for 2 or 3 hours at a time. And it does get a little bit draining, I will say. And to that point, actually, it's funny that Liz, you never turned on the assist mode, because once I got to the final boss that would take me into New Game Plus, I went I maybe 4 or 5 tries, and I just, you know what, I don't feel like grinding this out, and so I just turned on every single assist up to the max, and I went through, and then from there I just left him on and just breezed through pretty much the rest of the game. So
Keith's a cheater.
I'm not a cheater. The game has it there. I played it how I wanted to play it, and I just wanted to beat it at that point.
I guess that's true. any way you want to play is the right way. I'll give you that.
Thank you, Andrew. That's why I said I have no judgment, Liz, if you go back and you want to turn on assist mode.
So I kind of want to touch a little bit more on the graphics. I know we've kind of gone a little bit over on like the different dungeons, but overall, what did you guys think of the graphics?
It's a weird thing because like a lot of indie games, it has like it's not a super technical, high detail style, but it's just very like shapes.
Yeah, it's kind of something on like a 3D Microsoft Paint. Like your character is just like these flat noodle arms. Like the character models are kind of like very kind of flat noodly arm. But I will say I love the graphics because it's not pixel. As much as I enjoy pixel art games, I am sick of seeing them from indie studios. This was kind of nice of a game to have actual 3D models.
Yeah, and that's I think kind of where I was kind of going to go with that too. Is that like it's like very much not good. But that's fine. That's so many games. I mean, it's every pixel art game, but it's unique, and it works because it's not so bad that you're like, oh, they couldn't have done better. Like they could have done better. They just decided to go with that. It almost looks like it was built on a beta. Like if you ever see like old beta videos, it's always like these floppy like amorphous creatures running around, and then eventually become Skyrim or whatever. Yeah, it just felt like they just stopped at that point, and I kind of appreciate that.
I almost kind of feel like a bubbly vibe from it. Obviously, it's not bubbles, but like it seemed bubbly
Describe
to me.
What do you mean by bubbly?
I don't know. It just like I said, the vibe, not necessarily like the look of it. And then I also would go into a room and like stuff would like keep shaking after it had already been hit. So I also thought that, like, not to get back to like the buggy things, but I mean, sometimes things were moving that weren't supposed to be moving.
It definitely had some of that weird death collision stuff that wasn't overly great when you're playing the game. But I think bubbly is an interesting way to describe it. I mean, you're working for you work for a seltzer company,
but cheerful, right? So it's, I feel like your character is, I don't know, it kind of like a breath of fresh air from the company.
I get where you're coming from, like lighthearted, like the humor and like.
Yeah, but it's also kind of dark. But I mean, I also feel like some of the weapons are kind of goofy. So it just like, I couldn't take it really serious. Like she's like going in, think about it. You're this character, you're an unpaid intern, and you're like, can you go like murder some monsters in the basement for me? I really appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like it's really kind of dark.
It's super bubbly.
But she's just like, so she like defeats the bosses, but I don't think she actually kills them or anything.
No, she doesn't. But all I'm saying, and I've been trying to say, is you work for a seltzer company. I thought bubbly was an interesting way to describe the game. Because
wait, you work for, it's a seltzer company?
Well,
my goodness!
I thought it was soda.
It's called like Fizzle, right?
Yeah,
I thought it was
Fizzle. It's a seltzer that
you never knew.
I did. I didn't. I forgot. I and there was bubbles in the fountains and stuff. That's where I got the idea that it looked bubbly. What is wrong with my brain this episode? This is awful.
You played so much of this game.
I played more hours than you, I think.
Yeah, you played like 16 hours instead.
I think that's where that term came from. Oh no.
Oh my word.
I sound like such an idiot this episode.
This episode is going under fast.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
But no, go.
Oh my gosh! Imagine this is the first episode that some people listen to and be like, "Wow, she's an idiot." How do people listen to this?
You were over there choking on your drink. It sounded like you were choking on drugs. That's a weird way to say that.
I mean, alcohol is a drug, though.
Well, no, it sounded like you were like coughing, like you were just like.
Oh, like I was holding it in. Yeah.
Like you've been smoking some drugs, Liz.
Smoking. All right. Back on track.
Good. Have fun editing this.
No, this is gonna be a nightmare. But yeah. I appreciate the graphic style that they went with this game. I thought the character models, like in game, weren't that impressive. But when you actually talked, they had like flat, like I don't know, cutouts, like drawings of the characters, super detailed, and I actually really liked it.
I love those too.
Yeah, they were
because
really
they
cool.
Changed them emotionally too, as like, didn't they? Like they would actually have like different things.
Yeah. And so, like, I enjoy the graphical, like, choice with this game. And I thought the dungeons were all very unique. Granted, like, there's only a handful of them, but each one, like, I knew where I was going and, like, I knew what kind of dungeon it was. So I'm actually impressed overall with the graphics.
I was also kind of surprised too with the second dungeon, like the cuddle pillows.
When you say second, me and you opened different dungeons.
Yeah, that was really weird. The second dungeon that I thought opened up for me was the Winky Dink. I hate that name. What was the second dungeon
What did you
for
call
you?
it again?
Winky Dink.
Oh, I thought you said something else. Carry on.
I got
what was
Styx
the,
coin
yeah.
for the second one.
Keith, what was your second one?
I think it was Winky Dink.
Yeah.
I
See,
can't
I think I
remember.
got 6 coins
So-
because I beat the first one so quick.
Before, yeah, I actually opened up, I think both of them before I finished the first one. So I like, kept track. I thought I kept track. But yeah, the second one was kind of weird and like, do you guys think it was like sexual?
I mean, it is. It's supposed to be like Tinder.
100%.
Okay, that's what I.
Well, that's
what I
why there
thought.
was the eggplant, which they called the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, and it's a very wiggly eggplant.
I just wasn't sure how much I was reading into it.
Clearly
I was like,
not
is this
enough.
sexual or am I just like a dirty-minded person?
No, it was a dating app. It was intentional.
Yeah, because like the match thing and stuff.
Yeah.
But I just like, I thought it was really weird that there weren't really any other elements like that in the game, or I didn't think so. Like you're not, well, I mean, there's like flirtation with like one of the other people, but
Yeah, I mean,
it was
it was-
weird that it just went
But it was
Tindery.
it was because it was all built on like these small startup apps and companies, and so it was a dating site. So
There's
that's
a lot
why
of
they were all
companies
charged.
though. They didn't have to pick the Tinder one.
I will say though, like
It would have been
game-
way less interesting if they picked Match for that, like Match.com, and you're just like, no, it needed to,
FarmersOnly.com.
like that would have been
Oh, yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Actually, oh my
By the
goodness,
way,
that would have
for-
been the best.
A joke once, Andrew thought it'd be funny to sign me up for Farmers Only.
Yeah, I did that for
That
April
was a
Fools.
prank that he did for
I signed
me
her up for Farmers Only. She actually got 3
when
matches.
we were dating.
And I made the worst profile. Oh my gosh. I like basically said she had an STD and she got 3 matches.
I almost forgot about that.
That was one of my better fool jokes.
This is your husband, Liz. This is your husband.
But I do like the game. It's like it's not inappropriately sexual though. Like it's definitely like enough that adults will get the humor, but kids won't. But yeah. So I. But what did you guys think of the bosses? Like, there's only a handful of bosses. Did you guys actually find them interesting at all?
No, they weren't really overly difficult once you got to them. The only
when
ones
you
I
did their
thought
move
was
sets.
kind of interesting was the second time you fight the Styx coin guy, and he's like, driving an underworld boat, and when he
Yeah, the
goes
Ferry
up,
of the
and he's-
Damned.
yeah, he's driving the Ferry of the Damned, and then he goes and he like jumps up on his chair, and you have to collect enough Styx coin to like fill a meter, and then he comes back and fights you again. Again, not dynamic and like wowing by any means, but it was kind of neat.
One of my least favorite things happened with one of the bosses. I hate when you're fighting a boss and you have like a sliver of health and he has a sliver of health and you lose. And it just makes me just be like, do you know what? I'm done with this. That happened to me at one point. Andrew, you watched that happen. And I was just like, oh, it just like, it hurts.
It was kind of soul crushing to watch. I felt depressed for you.
Yeah,
But
but
I
it
thought-
also has an aspect where, and I heard Andrew, you said it once while we were in a party and you were playing it, is you sometimes get a little bit greedy. You're like, I think I just need like 5 or 6 more hits. I'm just gonna go straight for it, and then it's that one last they turn and smack you.
Yep.
And
I do that all the
that's it.
time. I'm just like, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, like they're so close. Where if you're like, if I just go for like 2 hits, back off, 2 hits, back off, I will definitely get this. But no.
Nope, got greedy. I just want to win. But that's one thing I really do want to talk about. I loved the music of this game. I thought this music was fantastic.
I
And, like,
thought it got old.
No, for me it did not. Like, I mean, granted, you played a lot more than me, so maybe it did get old for you. But for me, like, this game actually has an impressive soundtrack. Like, how many tracks are on it, in which you can go to your apartment and actually play, like, select the music. But especially near the end, I thought the final boss fight, when the music's kicking in and like the presentation of the final boss fight, it really hit home for me. I thought the music was so good in this game.
No, I'm a little bit in the middle here. I'm with Liz where at certain points I was like, okay, I need to stop doing the Joblin area. This is too much. I'm going to hear this song in my sleep. But at the same token, it was really good. Like I really enjoyed what it was doing with the music for the most part, as long as it wasn't starting to wear thin on me.
I think, Liz, you described it as elevator music, which I think is very wrong.
Wow, you got like heated about
Yes.
that. So, like, I mean, I did like. So I think the music fit the game very well, but I did find it old fast because I mean, like you guys said, like I was playing, mainly the Joblin area the most, but I found even with the other areas that like I just like flew through, I still was just like, okay, I should probably turn this down a little bit.
No, the
No,
Styx
go
coin was kind of cool because it would like it got like kind of like digital and techno-y because again it was cryptocurrency, so like it kind of changed itself up. But yes, having played a lot of the Joblin one, I that's the one I think that like wore on me.
Well, when you play the New Game Plus too, I like too that the game actually did like remixes of the songs as well. Kind of like how Celeste did when you would do like the B side of some of the levels. It did the same thing where it's like it remixed some of the music.
Well, I like some of the music. So your character can go back to her apartment. And so I was on the computer or whatever it was, and I was going through the music. And I don't remember if it was, I don't know. I just remember that something played music, and I liked it in the room. Like I was switching through them, like, oh, these are kind of nice. Are they the same ones that were in the game?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just being picky when I was playing.
Yeah, you were just annoyed because you were losing.
I like a little bit. Wow. I like it in small doses.
See, for me, what the music reminded me a lot of, I mean, you guys probably won't know this game, but Jet Set Radio Future. That was a game originally on the Dreamcast and eventually was on the original Xbox. But this is a lot what the music kind of reminded me of, especially when it came to the final boss song. So I think that's what like really kind of touched like a bit of a nostalgia for me, and why I think I enjoyed the music more. But yeah, I think the soundtrack of this keeps great. It's definitely not something I'd play listening to going to work, like on Spotify, but it fits so well for the tone for the game.
But it wouldn't get you jazzed up to go fight some of your coworkers?
Yeah, go in and grab staplers and start throwing staplers at people. Yeah, is this game promoting workplace violence? Let's talk about this.
Let's not.
But yeah, so I think I give this game an A+ for just the music alone. But another thing I think the game does excel well in, and I do think I would recommend this game for achievement hunters. So the actual overall time to beat, people are averaging about 8 hours. That's what I did. I actually beat this game in about 8 hours. And just playing through the game, you get a majority of the achievements. And the assist mode as well. I mean, Keith, can you confirm this? Does it turn off achievements?
Nope, you get all the achievements. It makes it 100% accessible in that way that if you want to turn them on. So especially if you don't like the game but you just want to get some easy achievements, turn on all the assist mode. And if you are enough of an achievement hunter, you're probably good enough at video games that you should breeze through with assist mode. Yeah,
but the achievements, majority of them are gameplay, just beating the game kind of thing. Some of them are like maxing out each mentor. There's some...
So not really fun?
But yeah, none of them were like too fun though. Like, because some of them were very kind of... The one that's the most grindy is to get a Rolodex, a business card of every enemy. And as Liz was saying, those are... You only get like 1 or 2 per dungeon. And you have to find the specific monster, and you have to throw a card at them.
And you can only hold 3 weapons, so you're kind of utilizing a third of your weapon slot. So it's kind of annoying to hold it on till the very end.
Yeah.
So for like the bosses and stuff, because I mean they're not the most durable weapons, and some rooms have crap. So it is kind of a gamble.
Yeah, so that's probably the worst achievement, but you can at least get a majority of them just by playing the game. But getting into our final thoughts, Keith, why don't you go? Tell us what you thought of Going Under.
So I really liked Going Under. I did. I think it's fun. It's fast paced. It's unique enough in its own way. Like we talked about, where you can just kind of pick up whatever you want, fight with what you want. It breaks and you move on. Like you're built to lose your weapons, and every perk that you get feels useful, whether or not it's your favorite one or you always want to grab that perk. Everything seems to change the game just a little bit, and just enough that you always feel like you're doing something different every time you go through the same cycle over and over again. The music's great. The graphics aren't impressive, but they fit and they're fun. And overall, it works. I think I got to give it an 88.
That's high.
That's pretty close to actually what I'm thinking too. So for me, like I said, at the beginning, I was going to give this game a pass because as a hardcore gamer, I found this so easy that I just wasn't having much fun. But once I got the New Game Plus and it started mixing things up, I was enjoying it. And once I got to New Game Plus 2, I thought the story was really kind of kicking in. And so that's when I was like, okay, I want to see where this game goes and how it ends. And I thought just how it did the final boss and the final fight, I was really enjoying my time there in the end. I thought the music was fantastic. I love that this game is a very small studio, and they decided not to do pixel art, and they actually went with 3D models, and I think the graphically fits really well with this game. I thought the combat was good, but I'm glad this game did not stay its welcome. I beat it in 8 hours, and I was still like, you know what, I think I'm going to go back and keep grinding and working more for some of the other achievements. But after now I've gotten majority of them, I'm kind of like, okay, I think I'm good with this game now. And I think it's perfect. The game just ends at the right time. So I think I'm going to give it an 85. I just wish the combat was a little better, and I wish there was some of the weapons were a little bit better. It just was kind of frustrating, like the weapons were just kind of blending in.
I'm going to give it a 78.
I'm surprised that's that low for how much you played this game.
I really did like it, but the entire time I wanted more. I wanted more weapons. I wanted more variety. And so for me, like, especially being the noob, I spent more time like trying to beat the first boss, and there were some areas I was just like, okay, they need more dungeons or something. So I think it's me coming from the noob perspective of, just being in some of the dungeons for too long. And I think it's a good game. I just think that like adding some more things would really make it better. And unfortunately, I feel like Keith, when we first started this podcast, he always had the lowest scores. I feel like the last couple of games, like I've been like the kind of like the pickier one,
the cynical one.
Yeah. So I don't know how that changed. So someone recommend a game that I'm absolutely gonna love. So I'm not
Farming
the negative
Simulator.
Nancy.
Here we come.
She said Farming
Simulator.
No.
I had two things. Andrew, so did you say a score, or were you just saying you agreed with my
85?
Oh, I didn't hear it. Sorry, I was managing. But otherwise, I had another question: is would you play a DLC if they came out with one? Like if they like followed up on the end of the story, like picked up where the story ends, and like had a small DLC.
Paid or free?
Say $5 or less, but paid.
Depending on how much it is. If it's just one dungeon, I don't think I'd pay $5 for just one dungeon. Because, like I said, I normally beat these dungeons in 1 or 2 runs, and I would want something a little more substantial. I would want something that would actually change gameplay a bit. Like, it would have to be like an interesting dungeon, like an interesting mechanic with it.
I was thinking like 2 dungeons, like similar to how they are in this one. Like you go through one, and then maybe you have like a final boss one, and then it resets, and then you have to do it again. I don't know, just a thought.
$5, yeah, I probably would.
Oh, just a thought. I would too.
What about you, Liz?
No.
Would
you, Keith?
Would you play it if Andrew paid the $5?
After some time went by, I would play it, I think. But I don't know. I feel like I would feel the same way, just with new dungeons. So
yeah, but I think I would be willing to actually pay up to like $10 if it was like maybe that amount of content. But yeah, I would do it.
If the listeners wanted it, I would do it.
Oh, Liz, look at you. All you care about is the listener.
But looking at Metacritic, we're looking at 73 and TBD. And a lot of people love the humor, playfulness. Someone said it had a lot of charisma. But I think they kind of had the same negatives as us. Nothing too interesting. Our fourth and silent co-host, I mean, he hasn't been with us for a couple of games. So
I know.
He needs to get on it. Yeah. Did his console break?
No, I've seen him like some things on Twitter. Oh, okay. I follow him.
Oh, you follow
you
Twitter.
follow him.
Yeah,
Keep the stalker.
I got to keep up on our guy, That does sound really creepy. It really wasn't hard to find though. I just Googled his username and it came up.
All right, so I think that's going to do it for us this week. If you have a game suggestion, please email us at gamepassgrabbag@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook with the same name. And we're also at Twitter, GPGBpod. I've been your hardcore gamer. I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird0952.
I've been Keith, and I don't know. I don't know.
You originally wanted your intro to be Mayor of Flavortown.
Yeah, I was going to be the Mayor of Flavortown, but that's already Guy Fieri, so I didn't want to be that. So I decided to go with Comptroller.
So he's just it's a weird ass intro, but yep.
And I'm Liz Noob, gamertag come on. I'm Dean, and I'm on Twitter at Liz Noob. Noob is EW.
All right, but thank you all so much. And when you hear this episode, make sure you go to either our Facebook or Liz's and wish her a happy birthday because it'll be her birthday.
Oh, geez.
Aw.
Do you want to say how old you're going to be?
That's
Happy
all right.
birthday, Liz.
Oh, thank you guys.
All right, thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.